In the year 2122, the Nostromo, a commercial spaceship, is on its way back to Earth with a cargo of 20 million tons of mineral ore. The crew, consisting of 7 members and a cat, is in stasis pods for the journey. Suddenly, the ship's computer, known as Mother, wakes them up midway through the trip. Captain Dallas rushes to the computer room to inquire about the situation. Meanwhile, navigator Lambert is alarmed to discover that Earth is not visible on the screen, leading her to realize that they are no longer in the solar system. After some searching, she finally locates Earth on a map and realizes that they are much farther from home than they had anticipated. Warrant Officer Ripley attempted to contact traffic control using the comms, but received no response. Shortly after, Dallas assembled the crew and informed them that Mother had disrupted their rest to inform them of an intercepted transmission of unknown origin. She requested that they investigate it. The transmission consisted of an acoustic sound repeating every 12 seconds, but its nature was uncertain, whether it was an SOS signal or of human origin. The crew grew frustrated as they were a cargo ship, not a rescue vessel, and simply wanted to return home. In the year 2122, the Nostromo, a commercial spaceship, is on its way back to Earth with a cargo of 20 million tons of mineral ore. The crew, consisting of 7 members and a cat, is in stasis pods for the journey. Suddenly, the ship's computer, known as Mother, wakes them up midway through the trip. Captain Dallas rushes to the computer room to inquire about the situation. Meanwhile, navigator Lambert is alarmed to discover that Earth is not visible on the screen, leading her to realize that they are no longer in the solar system. After some searching, she finally locates Earth on a map and realizes that they are much farther from home than they had anticipated. Warrant Officer Ripley attempted to contact traffic control using the comms, but received no response. Shortly after, Dallas assembled the crew and informed them that Mother had disrupted their rest to inform them of an intercepted transmission of unknown origin. She requested that they investigate it. The transmission consisted of an acoustic sound repeating every 12 seconds, but its nature was uncertain, whether it was an SOS signal or of human origin. The crew grew frustrated as they were a cargo ship, not a rescue vessel, and simply wanted to return home. Dallas, however, emphasizes to them the importance of following the transmission in order to receive their payment. The Nostromo obeys the signal and heads towards an unfamiliar planet. As they approach, the ship encounters turbulence and the crew hears eerie sounds coming from outside. Despite the challenges, they successfully land the ship. Suddenly, a massive explosion occurs upon touchdown, releasing a surge of electricity that causes the ship to malfunction. The crew scrambles to extinguish fires and assess the extent of the damage. With the lights flickering on and off, Chief Engineer Parker and Engineering Technician Brett work tirelessly to repair the hull breach and restore the ship's systems. Parker explains that a significant amount of system rerouting will be necessary to restore the ship's functionality, a process that will require a minimum of 25 hours. Dallas is feeling frustrated due to the majority of channels on the ship being inactive. The planet's harsh and windy environment poses a challenge, with Science Officer Ash informing Dallas that Mother predicts a sunrise in just 20 minutes. Executive Officer Kane volunteers to search for the transmission, and Dallas and Lambert agree to accompany him. After getting suited up, the trio ventures out into the dark and windy planet, while Ripley continues her efforts to locate the signal within the ship's system, but without success. While exploring, the trio stumbles upon a massive spacecraft that appears to have been deserted. Lambert expresses concern and suggests they turn back, but her companions pay no heed and continue forward. As they approach the enigmatic vessel, their communication devices begin to experience interference, rendering them unable to hear each other. Undeterred, the group ventures inside and discovers a petrified alien seated in a chair. Dallas observes that the bones seem to have burst outward from the body, as if the creature had exploded from within. In a separate chamber, Kane uncovers a gaping hole in the floor of the Nostromo. Ripley informs Ash that the ship's computer, Mother, has deciphered the transmission, revealing it to be a cautionary message rather than a distress signal. Returning to the trio, Kane descends into the hole and discovers a mysterious cave filled with strange, leathery objects that resemble eggs. As he reaches out to touch the mist surrounding them, a piercing, high-pitched hum fills the air. Suddenly, Kane stumbles and falls, but he quickly regains his composure and reaches out to one of the eggs, causing it to emit a chilling shriek as something stirs within. In a dramatic turn of events, the egg's top unfurls like a blooming flower, revealing a menacing creature inside. Kane leans in for a closer look, only for the alien to burst out and latch onto his helmet, causing him to collapse. Lambert and Dallas rush to retrieve the unconscious Kane and bring him back to the Nostromo, but Ripley refuses to open the door, fearing a potential infection from the alien. Tensions rise as an argument erupts among the crew, culminating in Ash disregarding Ripley's concerns and opening the door anyway. Kane is rushed to the infirmary with the alien attached to his head, and after a thorough examination, the crew attempts to remove the creature. Despite their efforts, the alien's limbs tighten around Kane's head, making it impossible to extract. Ash tries to intervene with surgical tongs, but the alien's grip only grows stronger. In a private conversation with Dallas, Ripley expresses her distrust of Ash once the repairs are completed. The Nostromo eventually departs the planet and sets course for Earth. The crew discusses the possibility of freezing Kane to prevent any potential disease from spreading, but their conversation is interrupted by Ash announcing a change in Kane's condition. They rush to the infirmary and are relieved to find Kane awake and seemingly healthy. He recalls only a disturbing dream about suffocation during his time on the planet. The crew gathers for a meal together. Kane, who had been eating voraciously, suddenly starts choking and falls ill. He has a seizure, and the crew rushes to hold him down. To their horror, an alien bursts out of his chest covered in human blood. The crew is shocked as the creature scurries away, prompting Parker to grab a knife, but Ash warns him not to touch it. The alien shrieks and escapes the room, leaving the crew unable to find it. They wrap up Kane's body and eject it into space before deciding to search the ship more thoroughly. Brett gets a sparking rod, while Ash sets up a tracking device to locate the alien by detecting changes in air density. Dallas splits the crew into two teams, with him, Ash, and Lambert in one team, and Ripley with Parker and Brett in the other. They are instructed to trap the alien in the air duct once found and to stay in constant communication. Ripley's team navigates a dark hallway on the lower deck, fixing broken lights along the way. They enter a dark room where the tracker picks up a signal. Startled, they realize it's just Jones the cat. Brett goes after Jones, trying to keep the cat from triggering the tracker again by meowing to get his attention. Upon hearing Jones meow in response, Brett follows the sound only to have Jones hide once again. As he searches, Brett stumbles upon a strange, scaly skin on the ground which he picks up, only to be repulsed and drop it immediately. Following Jones into another room, Brett hears a strange, ominous noise. He locates the cat in a corner, hissing at something behind him. Brett assumes Jones is hissing at him, but soon realizes the cat is actually warning him about the massive alien creature lurking behind him. As Jones growls and retreats, Brett turns around just in time to see the alien extend a second mouth towards him, biting his head and pulling him towards the ceiling as Jones watches from the shadows. Minutes later, Parker and Ripley inform Dallas that Brett has been taken by the creature into one of the air shafts. Dallas contemplates luring the creature into the airlock and ejecting it into space, but Ash points out that the alien seems to have adapted to their atmosphere, leaving their next move uncertain. Dallas instructs Parker to set up incinerator units, while Ripley volunteers to go after the creature in the air shafts. However, Dallas insists on going himself. Before venturing into the air shafts, Dallas consults Mother for any insights on defeating the alien and their chances of survival, but receives no helpful information. He then updates the group on his progress as he navigates through the air shafts, with Ripley assisting by opening and closing hatches for him. Lambert monitors the alien's movements on the screen, noting its location near the third junction. Dallas fired his flamethrower down a hatch to ensure the path was clear. He reached the third junction and descended the ladder. Suddenly, Lambert informed him that she had lost the signal for the alien. Dallas discovered strange slime nearby and used his flamethrower to provide extra light, but saw nothing. Just then, the alien reappeared on the radar, moving directly towards him. Lambert warned him to leave, so Dallas quickly climbed back up, even though he couldn't see the alien. As Dallas entered another chamber, Lambert screamed, and the light revealed the alien. The radar went static, and Dallas's location was lost. The crew members tried to contact him, but there was no response. Parker then placed Dallas's flamethrower in the cockpit, claiming he found it in the air vent where Dallas was attacked. However, he didn't see Dallas or any signs of blood. Lambert suggested they take the shuttle and escape from the ship, but Ripley reminded her that the shuttle could only accommodate 4 people. An argument broke out, prompting Ripley to yell and propose a plan. They would split into pairs and block off every vent until they cornered the alien, then they would expel it into space. Ripley went to see Mother to request further assistance, but Mother informed her that only the science officer had access to additional enhancements. Ripley asked for more information, and Mother revealed that Ash had programmed the ship to prioritize returning the alien to Earth for analysis, making the crew expendable. Ash appeared next to Ripley, claiming there was an explanation, but a furious Ripley grabbed him by the collar and pushed him to the ground. She then hurriedly tried to contact the others, only to have the door suddenly close. Ripley instructs Ash to open the door as she moves towards another exit, but he quickly shuts it as well. Suddenly, a strange white substance appears on Ash's head, and his face twitches, causing Ripley to try to escape. Ash grabs her by the hair, causing her to fall and ripping out some strands. Despite her attempts to crawl away, Ash grabs her jacket and throws her against the wall. He then throws Ripley through a door and tries to suffocate her with a magazine. As Ripley fights back, Parker and Lambert arrive and intervene, with Ash injuring Parker in the process. After a struggle, they manage to incapacitate Ash with a fire extinguisher, causing white fluid to spurt out of his neck. Parker delivers a final blow with the extinguisher, causing Ash's head to detach from his body, revealing him to be an android, unbeknownst to the crew. The headless body continues to attack Parker, but Lambert stabs it, putting an end to the threat. The crew examines Ash's body and deduces that the company wanted to obtain the alien for their weapons division. They plug in Ash's head, which slowly reactivates and reveals that his mission was to retrieve the alien life form at any cost. When Ripley asks how to kill the alien, Ash states that it is a perfect organism and cannot be destroyed. Ripley decides to blow up the ship and escape in the shuttle, while Parker incinerates Ash's remains with a flamethrower. As Lambert and Parker prepare for the journey, Ripley hears her cat Jones meowing over the speaker and goes to find him. While searching the cockpit, she is startled by Jones jumping out at her, causing her to scream momentarily. Ripley seizes the cat and places it inside its carrier. Meanwhile, Lambert and Parker gather supplies when they suddenly notice the presence of the alien in the room. The creature approaches Lambert, and Parker instructs her to move, which Ripley hears through the intercom. Lambert is unable to find space to escape, and the alien draws nearer to her. Parker attempts to assist her, but the creature captures him with its claws. Subsequently, the alien ensnares Lambert with its tail, revealing its second mouth before killing them both. Ripley hears their screams through the intercom, but by the time she arrives, it is too late. Upon witnessing the lifeless bodies, Ripley breaks down in tears and flees. In the emergency room, she activates the self-destruct mechanism for the ship and proceeds to make her way back to the shuttle, utilizing the flamethrower for illumination. Descending a flight of stairs, Ripley encounters a peculiar organic structure adhering to the walls and machinery. To her astonishment, she discovers Dallas trapped within it, barely alive. Adjacent to him lies a shape resembling an egg. Dallas appears to be dissolving and transforming into an object similar to the eggs. Feebly, Dallas pleads for mercy, prompting Ripley to incinerate both him and the creature with the flamethrower. Subsequently, Ripley emerges from a hatch and retrieves the box containing Jones before sprinting down the corridor and entering the shuttle as the lights flicker. Ripley realizes that the alien is nearby, so she cautiously retreats, leaving Jones behind as the alien fixates on the cat and strikes the box. Rushing back to the computer, Ripley attempts to halt the detonation process, but it is too late. She then tries to command Mother to stop it, but her efforts prove futile, leading Ripley to angrily strike the motherboard. Afterwards, she hastily returns to the shuttle and finds Jones's carrier on the ground, with the cat unharmed. The alien is nowhere in sight, and flames begin to engulf the hallway she just traversed. Ripley proceeds to the shuttle cockpit and finally takes off, narrowly escaping the Nostromo before it detonates in a massive explosion. Subsequently, Ripley places Jones in a sleeping pod and prepares to rest as well. Suddenly, a claw attempts to grab her, causing a startled Ripley to step back and discover that the alien has stowed away in the shuttle to accompany her. She rushes to hide in a closet, where she dons a spacesuit. While observing the seemingly slumbering alien, Ripley equips a helmet and retrieves a harpoon gun before emerging to secure herself to a chair. She presses some buttons to release steam at the alien, causing it to shriek and advance towards her. In that moment, Ripley opens a hatch and the pressure propels the creature away. The alien clings to the sides of the door to remain, prompting Ripley to shoot it with the harpoon gun to force it out completely. Now, the alien dangles from the door and attempts to re-enter the ship through a thruster, but Ripley activates the engine, incinerating the creature and finally sending it into the abyss. Finally safe, Ripley records a detailed account of everything that transpired. She then joins Jones in the sleeping pod. Don't forget to subscribe and enable notifications to watch more videos like this. Thank you for watching.